Time for a pep talk. It is time for a pep talk. Actually, this will just be a reminder of things you are already familiar with. Of course, there are always new people finding us, and this may be the first time they have been exposed to these ideas. But events have recently occurred that have put many of you into a tailspin, as you call it. You feel lost, frustrated, and helpless. You had thought you were beyond such things. You had thought your world was beyond needing them, as well. But as wonderful as your current level of consciousness is, it may be some time before you reach that state. So, let us remind you of a thing or two. The first is that what you see around you is, and will always be, a reflection of the state of your consciousness. We do not speak, in global terms, of your personal consciousness, but of the collective. Then you must also realize that humans are still creating variations on their past, because they have not yet moved beyond that capability. When they create, they almost always use past experience to imagine their future, and even then, they most often act in a less than conscious way. If they were to suddenly begin, as a unit, to act in the now moment, from their higher knowing, your world would change so quickly that your collective head would spin. But we still need to help you pull out of that tailspin. What can you do to avert the next problem? Can you, personally, stop the next missile? Can you change the course of your nation? Can you change the way the citizens of your country, or its non-citizens, act? And we could make this list quite a bit longer. For most of you, the answer to these questions will be no. There is no action that most of you who read this could take that would have much of an effect on these things. That is not because you are ineffective. That is because an individual act does not have a great effect upon collective consciousness, usually. And the creation is a reflection of that collective consciousness. But that collective consciousness can be changed. It has been changed. It is being changed. It has changed every time your own consciousness changes. And you know this now. A short while ago, you were very aware of it. And you were forging ahead beautifully. But sometimes an event or two can derail you. No worries, as you say. That is what we are here for. We remind you that every time you have an uplifting thought, every time you perform a loving act, the vibration of the field in which you live is raised. So it is merely a matter of balance. Now if what we have always told you is true, and it is, and loving energy is far more powerful than its opposite, then every loving thought and act has the energy to overcome much. The balance is in your favor. So, when you think there is nothing I can do, your thinking is on the level of the old reality. But when you act or think from the knowing that you are making a difference, and when you act from the intent to raise the vibration of the field, you will do so. You may not yet be able to see the extent of your effect, but there will come a time when you will. Now, as you can see, one thought is very disempowering, and the other is very empowering. And the most wonderful thing is that the choice to have one or the other is always yours. When things are relatively quiet, you all are beginning to sense that things are becoming much different. You feel something huge approaching. You would be at a loss to put it into words, but you know it is there. Now, we cannot tell you what it is. We cannot tell you because it changes as you change. But we can tell you that what you sense is your own growing power. Others sense this too, you know. And the knowledge of this is very much the cause of much of the chaos that is happening. There will always be inertia. Everyone wants things to be different. No one wants change. Change is quite often painful. And it always has the potential to lead to the unknown. Therefore, it is something that brings fear. What is the opposite of fear? Most would say courage. But we tell you, as you have heard before many times, that the opposite of fear is love. So, love yourselves back into your power. And then love yourselves into more power. You are the force that will change all of this. Know that. Channeled by Ron Head. RonAhead.com